Hi, my name is Sebastian Moss, and today I will be discussing the Dutch versus French language situation in Belgium, and then this fits under the category of minority languages in multilingual societies. Okay, so before I start my presentation, I would like to give a brief outline on what I will be discussing. So first off, I will talk about some background information, such as what makes up a minority language. Then I will talk about some of Belgium's history, and then I will state my guiding question, which will be the question that the remainder of my presentation will be focused on. And then after that, I will go into question analyzation, where I will talk about the specific language situation in Belgium, and then I will talk about the role that bilingualism has on it. And then lastly, I will state my conclusion slide, where I will talk about how does this all tie back to my guiding question. And in my conclusion slide, I will state what I believe is the minority language in Belgium, and if I believe that that minority language can overrule the majority language in the future. Okay, so first, what makes up a minority language? So first, in order for a language to be considered a minority language, it must be a secondary language, and it must be a language that is not the primary language spoken by the majority of the country's population. Second, it must not be a language that is used every day in the workplace or in schools. Third, it must not be a language that is used every day in that country's social media platforms. And then next, another language must take societal precedence over that minority language. And then lastly, the minority language must have less of a correlation to the country's origin than the primary language or the majority language. Okay, so next, Belgium's history. Belgium straddles the border between Germanic and Romance-speaking Europe. The two main languages that are spoken in Belgium are French and Dutch. So the difference between these two languages has led to a complete split or complete division of Belgium. And then because of this split, it has led to two different linguistic communities going against each other in politics, where the majority of Dutch speakers are in the northern region of Belgium, and the majority of French speakers are in the southern region of Belgium. So next, my guiding question. So my guiding question is, what defines a minority language in a multilingual society? And then, can this minority language overrule the majority language in the future? Okay, so next, the specific situation in Belgium. So first off, we have Dutch. Dutch is the primary language that is spoken in the household, mainly spoken by families and friends. And then as well, Dutch is spoken by a majority of the middle-aged to older-age citizens. And then because of this, the majority of elders and middle-aged citizens in Belgium want Dutch to remain the dominant language in their country. And then as I previously stated, the majority of Dutch speakers are in the northern region of Belgium. On the other hand, you have French. French is increasing in its popularity and being spoken in the school and workplace, and it is being more commonly used in the Belgium social media platforms as well as the schools and workplaces. And then because it is starting to become commonly used in the schools, the majority of French speakers are of young age, specifically students who attend schools and have educational opportunities, because they are starting to learn French because they're starting to be so heavily relied on in Belgium's present-day society. And then, as I previously stated, the majority of Belgian speakers consist of the southern part of Belgium. Okay, so bilingualism, how does bilingualism have an effect in this? So Belgium's language problems date back to about 2,000 years ago. However, the two most recent world wars are likely for Belgium's language division, I guess you could call it. So, for example, in the First World War, Germany overtook Belgium, and then while the Germans were in control of Belgium, they preferred the Dutch speaking over the French speaking, leading to a greater division between the two, and placing Dutch over the French speaking. And then in present day Belgium, nearly 55% of the population speaks Dutch, and then 40% of the population speaks French. And though this is not a drastic difference between the two, the reason why Dutch has the slim edge over French is because the Germans favored it. And so that's what the citizens stuck with. So my conclusion, how does this all tie together? And what do I believe is the minority language? So no doubt in my mind, French is the minority language in Belgium. And the reason for this is because it is spoken by the minority of the population. Dutch is spoken by 55% of the population, whereas French is spoken by 40% of the population, as I previously stated. That alone qualifies it as the minority language. However, along with being the minority language, I could very well see French overtaking Dutch as the majority language in Belgium, and the reason I think this is because French is spoken by the majority of French speakers are a younger population, thus they are the future of Belgium, and French is increasing in its popularity of social media and like schools, as I said. So it is the language of the future for Belgium in a way. And then so in Belgium, the workplace and the schools are starting to move towards the French language, and then because of this, people are going to be practicing more of the French language than the Dutch language, which places more of an emphasis on the French language, possibly placing it above Dutch, as it is increasing in basically importance in Belgium. And that's my presentation. This is my works cited, and this is how I believe a minority language in a multilingual society can possibly overcome the majority language. Thank you.